to do things that other folks can't because you learn how to make something out of nothing. That is what hip hop is birthed out of. That is what jazz music was birthed out of. It's an issue of so when I hear the story about black culture, is the beauty and the complexities of black culture to me is the fact that you could make something that's dope when people take every single opportunity away from you, and that what's created obviously becomes more beautiful out of privilege. It's almost a story of you ever have you have somebody who their whole entire life they've had somebody wait on them hand and foot, right? And so the one point where they have the opportunity to have to go cook their own food, they are lost, right? Black folks for our entire existence have had to make our own food. So we got to perfect it, we got to create it, we got to nuance it. And so when other folks see it, they're like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. But the fact that you have not struggled like we've struggled forces you not to have the ability to be able to do that. And let me push this a little step further because I'm in my zone. The beautiful thing about that is, and this is my belief as a scientist, is that those cultural artifacts that are produced by people who are positioned in a subaltern space gets passed on generationally. Not just culturally, but even it's embedded in the DNA. This idea, I think this notion of DNA as we know it scientifically is only a simple rendering of the complexities of how African American populations are able to pass on things from generation to generation. That it's actually over time it becomes embedded in how we operate.
All right, let me pause you for a second.
Yeah.
Jackie Robinson's movie. Now you remember the scene where the guy was saying, "Go back to where you came from. We don't want you here." And little boy was looking at his dad like, "Yeah, we don't want you here. Go back to where you came from." Started to emulate his dad. That's exactly what it is.
Well, it's being taught, and I think the whole issue with the DNA thing is that there comes a light bulb and an opportunity and a crossroads in many people's lives where their inner selves, their moral selves say, as much as I've been taught this ain't right, this ain't right. And so it's when they come to that crossroads, what do you do with that? Do you seek out, are you interested enough, or do you want to conform? And as we spoke in an earlier segment, when you get that tenureship and when you get that corporate position, you are supposed to conform to the formula that's already been laid out. We've allowed one of you to get here. You should be thankful.
Right.
We've allowed you to get here. You should be thankful. And don't start no ruckus up in here. Okay? You should walk, lock and step like a good soldier. And anytime you step outside of that, then you're seen as the militant. Not even the guy on TV or waving a picket sign. You could be a militant in your organization just because you stepped outside. But the mighty God now, and I think these are pretty much coexistent together, is the green dollar.
Oh yeah.
Because if I can get something out of you, and that's still the whole step and fetch it and go ahead and tap dance for me, but we're just in a corporate way now. If you can bring your people in and it results in dollars, then you are valuable to me.
Of course.
And so we have to see that responsibility of wherever we are, whether that's in education or entrepreneurship or athletics, wherever you are, you have to at some point with that pay it forward and pay back is once you get there, have the balls to step out and say, okay, I'm here, I'm living, I'm taking care of my family, I'm doing okay, but now I got to do a little something for the shoulders that got me to where I am. You can't cut off where you came from.
What you said that really hit me was, and we didn't even talk about this yet. When we're talking about culture, this is the anchor of it, is the appropriation of that culture. I think that's a culture in itself. This idea that what we create, once we are not allowed to have a place in the larger economic structure, then everything that we create that has value can be extracted from us and then sold back to us for the monetary value of populations that are
buy it.
And we buy it. But the thing is, you have to understand this. Why do we buy it? We buy it because it's a representative of us. You buy it because it reminds you of who you are.
Yeah, it's cultural colonialism.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
Where corporations have been able to deeply mine the raw material of our culture, repackage it, and then sell it back to us. Literally, in some cases, as shit.
But we go back to that argument of, well, they don't know. They do know. There's
some
some
people
deep
do.
minds
There's
know
some folks who
that
know.
I
Well,
want.
they know the value.
I want the
Right.
value of
Right.
it, so I can get what I can get out
course.
of it.
It's-
So why do I have to have Jordan on my feet? Why do I have to have someone's name on? My mother used to tell me, she used to put your name on something. and sell it. These are Kenneth Foots. And if you can convince 10 people to do it, it might pick up the whole FUBU thing. And the people that have come up, I knew one of those brothers, and they come up, and it's this whole idea that things give us value and definition and purpose without realizing the uniqueness of who we are individually, but then as a community and a culture. And when we get to do that, people talk the Korean. That this guy's on my block.
I was just about to say that.
He's doing this. Why are you in our neighborhood? The movie, the dude that was it, Spike Lee, coming in. Why are you on our corner? Why are you doing this? Because we, with the crab mentality, we got an issue. But that's rooted. That's DNA. Whereas if you do good, then I might not. So if I keep you down, and they just sit back and they watch that. We have to be able to do what other cultures do, that bring 10 people over and live in a 1-bedroom.
Man, preach about it.
And then open it up, the nail salon is there.
Spanish,
and we
Mexicans.
we all work in the nail salon
Look
until
at the Mexicans.
until I can rent the building next door.
Well, part of it though is that you're talking about folks who have an immigrant mentality in terms of coming to the country that we were never allowed to have.
Right.
We were brought to it.
Right. We were never allowed to be, and even as fraught as the role of being an immigrant is now in American society, we've never benefited from almost a kind of freedom around us, right? We were constrained in very specific and legalistic ways. But you mentioned that FUBU made me think about, one of the things that often gets lost, and Chris talked a little bit about this, is just the ingenuity that we bring to the culture. And when there are these examples where folks understand the power of something that we've created and close ranks around. So I was reminded of the classic LL story, with LL shooting
That Gap
a Gap joint. He's shooting a commercial for Gap back in 96, 97, but he's also an investor in FUBU. And instinctively, right before he goes on camera, he throws on a FUBU hat, right? And so FUBU is getting now free ad time for an ad that Gap is paying for, but it was all about this kind of ingenuity that we knew that was at the crux of what hip hop was, particularly in that classic period.
I'm just thinking, to extend even forward, not only did you rock the FUBU cap, he also incorporated the lyrics into it. But the thing is, that's what happens. That's what happens when we have the opportunity to be able to enter into those spaces to speak our narratives. And I think with the absence of opportunities to be able to do that, listen, if you let any person of color within a previously quote-unquote sanitized space, and you allow them to do what they do, it will transform that space and create something different.
You already know.
But you also have to take your raw talent. You're going to take our raw talent, which we have in so many areas, okay, and be able to work within the system that has been structured before we got here. Because so many famous Amos. We got so many of us that have talent. And then we're so excited that we actually may have gotten 5 minutes of fame for doing what we do, but then I don't want to say that. But the man comes in and mines it, and next thing you know, you've been gutted.
Well, that's the function of capitalism. I don't want to come in here and sound like some vulgar Marxist or socialist here, but I mean, the function of capitalism is to allow the person who has to have more, and to make sure and to exploit those who do not have.
Exactly.
And so
he's going to want you to make as much as he wants you to make, basically.
So if you're talking about communities of color who are able to create these ideas and and sort of create these powerful things, and they've never been allowed the opportunity to move beyond the spaces that they've been in. The function of a capitalist society is to recreate these established norms, which inevitably means, because you're rooted in a white supremacist ideology. I don't want to keep coming back there, but if you're rooted in a white supremacist ideology that's tied with capitalism, then the be-all, end-all of the system means that some white person who's rich is going to take advantage of black poor people.
We as the people then have to learn that we are in that system.
Right.
Okay. So and the fact that we're in that system, don't necessarily fight it, but capitalize on the system.
Examples of that. I mean, that's the irony when you think of the trajectory of the careers of Dana Owens, Queen Latifah, Jay-Z, Curtis Jackson, 50 Cent. For all the narratives about selling drugs on the corner, their success has come from their success working within the system.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the irony of it. Right.
Will Smith. Now, as far as even looking at many of the things that's going on, have you ever seen Will Smith go against anything that's affecting the black community? Have you just think in your mind right now? Have you ever seen him go against anything that happens in the black community? Hell no. No, I haven't.
Right.
Now, if I'm wrong, please tell me.
I mean, you mean, have I seen him advocate for something
Yes.
that affects the community?
Yes.
I mean, I think Will Smith has done some charity drives in Philly. I know Will Smith has been. I mean, he's the first dude to say, you know, I think he declined the Grammy. Did he decline the Grammy?
Right.
He declined the Grammy
Or didn't
because
show up for the Grammy.
you know he didn't show up for the Grammy because he didn't feel like African American population was represented.
Okay.
I do though see your point, and your point is that does he actively, vocally become adamant in advocating for a community? But I think
And
what
you
he's
could
done is
argue
what
that
Ken
he
says.
can't.
What Ken says is brilliant here, which is that I mean I could make the argument that what he's done is understand that he has a role within that system and utilize his role within that
Yes,
system
that's
to
why
be
I
able
brought
to
Will
do
Smith up.
something more
That's why I brought
powerful.
Will Smith up.
And what most folks don't know about Will, right, is and Will and Jada, you know, to get Carol's Daughters started up here, you know, the Brooklyn-based black-owned cosmetic. He wrote that check, right? He and Jay-Z and Jada Pinkett Smith were the primary financial support for Fela the Musical, right? So folks are writing, you know, even the case of the great Angela Davis documentary that was done last year, Jay-Z wrote the last check for that documentary to be done, right? So cats are doing things, but, you know, what does it mean? You know, can Jay-Z ever go on national television and say, I just supported an Angela Davis documentary, right? That creates a whole nother kind
And
of
I think
narrative.
that there are a lot of people are doing things, but it's not always in the forefront, so we can't necessarily knock them because there are a lot of people that are work done, you know, down in the South from Tampa. I mean, he's building houses left and right. Remember his
But
mom,
that's
and a lot of time it's not out there in the public. You know, but guess what? He is fulfilling his part in his little section of the world.
But we gotta tell those stories. I think this
lost.
is the piece.
It's lost.
I think that we have to be the ones to tell the stories about how folks who are deeply embedded in black culture are doing things to support our culture, so that